I've been on the fence whether or not to make this video, but I figured why not. A lot of my reasons for not making the video, such as I don't want to give this kid exposure and is he really worth talking about, really didn't add up. First off, if I'm giving the kid negative exposure, then, it's not going to do any harm. Secondly, is he really worth talking about? Well, I wouldn't say he is really worth talking about, but I would say it's a learning experience. To newcomers out there who want to get big, who want to interact with the big people and the whole, ranting shtick, or the community of reviewers, the community of gamers, or whatever. Take this as a learning experience. Don't end up like this kid. Now, I've posted about this kid on my fan page on Facebook, showing how he copied me in the Truth Hurts Network font, where basically his banner was essentially the same texture in the background as I used back then, the same font as I used back then, and then taking the word network from the Truth Hurts Network, which was very subtle, by the way. And you could use the influence thing, but here's the thing about influence. You have to have your own creative input to it. All this kid did was take a texture and then add text to it. It's not that difficult to do on Photoshop. It's fairly fucking easy. You just take a texture, take a font, make sure it's in the appropriate thing, which a lot of people fail at, but just put it in the right place and you're set. So after I called him out for taking influence, plagiarism in a more technical sense, he changed it back to how it was before, taking the original stuff and basically just settling it at that. And not only does he plagiarise in his banner, he plagiarises in his YouTube videos. Not the words that have to be said, but he certainly plagiarises his style. YMS. But unlike YMS, he's shit. Where YMS is able to actually give input on a movie, is able to actually analyse it, talk about it in an intriguing manner, and in an original way, this kid fails. His way of counteracting a content ID is to flip the image, which wouldn't be bad except for the text. He completely leaves the text reversed, which isn't going to confuse anyone. And he even does it with stuff like giving people shout-outs. It's not that difficult to cut out text in post-production, And another content ID which he tried to counteract was the Nightmare on Elm Street review. He wonders why he got a content ID claim on that video, but he just played a clip for 4 minutes. Anyone who's watched YMS's video showing how to not get a content ID claim would remember him saying, don't play the clip for too long, specifically more than 5 seconds. Here, I'll play his video right now.
Another thing that you can do is try to make it so that there aren't as many successive frames matching up. When I edit my film reviews for YouTube, I try to avoid having any clips last more than 5 seconds. Whenever you upload a video, always make sure you set it to private beforehand. Most content ID claims will come as soon as the video's finished processing, and since it timestamps it for you, you get a good idea of exactly what frames caused the detection in the first place. So when I was uploading part 1 of my Walking Dead review, and it showed that frames matched up from an interview I was using from AMC's YouTube channel, I realized that point in the video was one of few where I let a clip play seamlessly. I used my editing software to zoom in on the faces of the people talking during the interview rather than showing the whole frame, and even though it had the same runtime and the same audio, on my next upload it did not get detected at all.
So yeah, he has the elaboration and entertainment abilities of fucking wet sock. He doesn't know how to actually elaborate on a movie other than saying, this is a brief summary of the person I'm talking about, or the movie I'm talking about. It was made in this year. I thought it was a good thing. It was a horror movie. It was very scary. I liked the visuals. The acting was good. Goodbye. That's all he does. He gives nothing new to it. And not only that, when he tries to associate with people, he flip-flops all the time. He hated my friend Brian for being a malicious asshole. However, finds it perfectly okay to make a show called The Short End of the Stick, which I was a part of and then bailed out of, with the intentions to make someone upset and even off themselves. I even heard their family had a hunger strike just to stop the fucking show. Now granted, it's fucking pathetic for a family to do that, but even so, the fact that this kid willfully knew their family's reaction and did it anyway, just to fuck with them, is awful. He even told me that he made fun of this kid's mother who had cancer. And I'm fine with people making dark jokes, just not with the intent to hurt someone who doesn't deserve it. What did this kid do besides be annoying? Nothing. And bear in mind, I'm not here to justify the stuff that he hated Brian for, saying how what Brian did was A-okay, but for fuck's sakes, at least be morally consistent. He also claimed to have never liked Brian too much when being friends with him, despite offering to give him a Canon DSLR. You know, if you didn't like someone that much, you wouldn't have offered them expensive equipment. And it seems weird how you'd randomly remove Brian after he criticises your videos. What, could you not handle the criticism? Whether or not Brian's criticisms were valid or not, and in my opinion I thought they were valid, but to each their own. Don't remove someone just for having a different opinion. That's petty and childish. And the icing on the cake is when the kid tries to come to apologise. Here's the message. Hey, I just wanted to apologise for being a complete dick to you over the past few months. I've been going through a really shitty time in my life and I just wasn't myself. So I'm sorry for being an asshole. And I don't really want you to forgive me, I just sort of want to get this off my chest. I know this might sound very illogical and idiotic, but even if you do forgive me, I still don't want to be your friend. It's nothing personal, so please don't take it as that. It's just I removed pretty much all of my non-IRL friends, and I want to keep it that way, for reasons that I'd rather not go into right now. So again, I'm sorry. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just settling any grudges that were held between us. You can continue to not respect me or like me at all, and that's fine. But I'm just making things right on my behalf. Once again, don't take it personally that I don't want to be friends, because I don't want to be friends with Locke, Lane, or any of those guys anymore. I'm not singling you out. Also, if you could tell Lachlan I said sorry, that'd be cool, because I'm blocked. Take this however you will, but I felt that this had to be said. P.S. If it's not so much trouble, apologise to Smithers for me, but yeah. I just hope you can forgive me and at least understand why I don't want to associate with any of yous anymore. I still like and respect yous, but I don't want to go deeper than that. Now on the forefront, this seems like a genuine apology, until you start looking at all the flaws in it. First off, I didn't block him. The last time we spoke, we were talking about a thing that he had against Brian. I responded to him saying that I disagreed with his point. We had a back and forth and I thought it was that. I'm not going to remove someone just for having a different opinion to me. That's childish. But he did that. He removed me off Facebook, he removed me off Skype, and even to add to it, he unboxed me. And it also seems weird how you confront someone saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want any friendship at all, but I'd like to apologise. You don't have to forgive me. And even if you did, I don't want to be your friend." Just seems like a weird way to apologise to someone, but hey, maybe that's just me. Also, if it's no trouble to apologise to Smithers, well, I'll be sure that Mr. Burns gets the memo. So yeah, this kid's a fucking idiot. Not only has he done stuff to try and fuck with people even to a severe extent, but he's also lied about stuff, plagiarised, and all of that. So yeah, with all that out the way, if you want to make it big, don't do what this kid did.